Sarah, thanks for joining me today. I am going to share with you my haul from the Stitch Festival, which took place yesterday was Sunday, and that was the last day. It's been running since Thursday, so it's a 4-day event. I went for the first time last year. I think this year was a bit bigger. There were a lot of people exhibiting this year who weren't there last year. I don't know if that's maybe like a COVID thing. It's just that gradual recovery. But yeah, I felt like I got a lot more out of it this year. I think I knew more people, and last year it was the first time I'd been to an event like that, so I didn't really know how to plan for it. And I think I said in a previous vlog, I just bought like a load of random stuff. So I mean, I bought some random stuff this time, but I definitely went with a plan of what I wanted fabric for, and then some notions and patterns that I particularly wanted to get hold of. I think the fabric is where I struggle the most at these events. I think if I don't have a set plan, I just get a bit like, oh, there's so much and I don't know what to focus on. And there's just sort of piles of rolls of fabric and it's just a lot. I did go with one fabric particularly in mind that was apparently sold out on the first day. So I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, but otherwise I'm really, really pleased with my haul. I met so many lovely people. Honestly, it was like there were lots of vendors. There were some people I've worked with on stuff before who were there, who I saw. And also some of you guys who watched came up and said hello, which was really, really sweet. And also I was with my friend Sophie, who is new to sewing, but she's a very crafty person. She's an illustrator and she knits and she does all sorts of clever, crafty things. And she was really impressed. So thanks, guys, for making me seem a bit cool. So I appreciate that. But yeah, no, it was just a really good day, and I have loads of goodies. It was just lovely. I don't know what else to say. It was really nice. If you're thinking of going, if you haven't been before, the two main events in London each year are the Stitch Festival, which is in March, and then the Knitting and Stitching Show, which is at Alexandra Palace, which is in October. I went to the Ali Pali show for the first time in October, which was really good. It's bigger. I would say it's bigger, but actually this year the Stitch Festival was like, seemed a bit on a larger scale than the one last year was. So I don't know if it was just because my first Stitch Festival was still a little bit, it was like the first one after COVID, so maybe not as many people there, but yeah, it was great. So I'm the worst vlogger in the world. I took barely any pictures and barely any videos, but I'm just going to pop a few in here of some bits and bobs that I took, and then I'll show you what I bought. That the tickets were gifted to me by Jenny Stitches, who I'm on the blog team for, as most of you will already know. And yeah, she very kindly gave me a couple of tickets. It was the first time that she had exhibited there. And I mean, I saw her all over the place on social media and stuff, like on other people's posts. So hopefully that was a really worthwhile first experience. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the sort of haberdashery type items I bought first. I think they're all quite interesting, some maybe more than others. I'm going to start off, these are not haberdashery, with my earrings. Now you've probably seen these because I'd seen them all over Instagram and had decided that I needed a pair. These are from Ethel and Joan. And I got the last pair with a gold chain. There were 3 pairs left when I got there yesterday. There were 2 with silver chains and 1 with a gold chain, and I don't really like silver. So on me. I mean, it's lovely on other people, but I prefer to wear gold. And I got the last little pair. So how cute are they? Obviously Ethel and Joan have loads of beautiful items. I also bought these buttons. So obviously I could either have those all on one garment, but also I find quite often I'm working with garments that have like, they just need one button at the back of the neckline and I can never work out which button to use. And I thought these were kind of cute as standalone buttons. So I got the earrings and I got the buttons. So yeah, the earrings, I was chatting to them about how popular they've been, and they've said, yeah, it's been amazing. They've been so popular. And they said they're going to have a load of them coming to the website. So I've just got a normal cloud, but apparently there's like a storm cloud, which has little like metallic flecks in. There's, was it sunset or sunrise, or ones that have bits of colour in and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love these. They're probably a bit distracting when I'm talking to you because they're dangling all over the place. But I like them a lot. And then I can wear like stormy clouds when I'm in a bad mood, and then Nate will know to leave me alone. And then these can be on good days. So anyway, so that was one of my purchases. I know this technically isn't haberdashery, but the buttons are. I also went to one of my classic faves, which is Little Rosy Cheeks. I always go and see Little Rosy Cheeks at these fairs, and I always buy more labels, even though I half the time forget to put labels in. So there are always some new designs. I was chatting because they are slightly changing tack soon. So she's going to start releasing children's sewing patterns. So they're sort of expanding. So it won't just be so much about the labels and the other little bits and bobs. But I am glad I got some labels anyway. And I presume I think the labels are continuing. They just won't be developing as many new designs because they're going to be producing patterns as well. So I've purchased this set, which is the same as another set I have, which I think are in, it's like a darker blue and like more of a purpley burgundy colour. So they say handmade with some nice gold metallic writing. And then I also bought these ones, which you can't see so well. Maybe I can take them out. Oh, no, I won't. So it's got a little rainbow on. I'll see if I can find a picture on their website to put up. But it says, made this on one side, and it feels good. I had to check because I couldn't see the good bit. And I needed to check it didn't say, and it feels awful. Horrible. But no, I've been told it says it feels good. And then I saw the example on the board. So I always get Little Rosy Cheeks labels. I just think they're really cute. They're nice colours, they're different, and they're just really, really nice. Really, really nice people. I then went to the Specky Seamstress. And so anyone who doesn't know, the Specky Seamstress makes bias binding and all like leather labels that you can put on like jeans and bags and stuff, and some other bits and bobs. And I just couldn't resist this cute little dog bias binding. Now again, I'm going to put a picture up because I just don't think my camera focuses very well. If I put it like this, maybe you can see that a bit better. So yeah, I just thought it was really cute. I can't resist. Put a dog on something and I'll buy it. Do you know what I mean? I then went by, oh, where else did I go by? I went by Sister Mintaka, don't know, to have a look at some of the lovely fabric. And there was some gorgeous fabric there. I was feeling a bit indecisive though, so I just like felt a lot of it. And then I thought, okay, now I know what it looks like in real life, so I'm going to go home and think about what I would use it for, because I just sort of couldn't decide. I almost bought something and then I just thought, I don't have a project in mind for this. And I didn't know how much to buy, and I didn't want to buy more than I was going to use or whatever. So I've just decided to have a feel. I now know what the vibes are, and I can then order online. She had some other designer fabrics, but she's also got her own range of fabrics. These beautiful prints, really, really bold and bright. And I think the base cloths, there's like a viscose. Was it a viscose crepe or a viscose challis? And then a viscose linen. So they were really, really lovely. The only thing I bought when I was there were these labels, Made Under Moonlight by Sarah Hartz. I got some of her labels in my Christmas stocking from my mum, and they're just really cute. They're also very big, which I sort of like, because I think for some garments, maybe you want something a bit more sizable in the label department. So they're really, really nice. My friend Sophie bought me some snips. I just needed some because I've temporarily mislaid my others, and she was buying some, and they were like 2 for a discounted price. So she bought me those. Thanks, Sophie. And then the main thing I'd had on my list in terms of haberdashery were, I just don't really feel like I have very good marking tools. I had one pen that I used a lot in the beginning, and then it ran out and I've not been able to find it anywhere else. So I was on a bit of a mission to get a few different marking tools and see what worked for me. Now I have those little chalk sort of, what would you call them? Like rounded triangle things. I don't know what they're called. But I find them really difficult to be accurate with. I find that I always just make a mess, and then I'll like drop one, then it'll smash everywhere and blah, blah, blah. But I was speaking to a few different people there, and I was recommended this, which is a chalk. They called it a chalk pencil, but it's sort of like a pen. So these are all the different cartridges you put in. You can sharpen it, and also you can then just buy replacement packs. And they were saying it's much more accurate, it's much easier to use. So I've purchased that. And I've also purchased one of the friction pens, which I've seen. I remember when they first sort of came out, and some of the kids I teach would be like, I'm going to write in this pen, and then look, I'm going to rub it out. Sorry about that. Nala is barking at people out the window. Oh yeah, here's the friction pen. So I remember having students who would be like, I've written in pen, and look, I've rubbed it out. And I sort of didn't realise until the last few months that you could use them on fabric as well. I sort of avoided getting one because I was worried that they didn't all work on fabric, and I didn't want to get the wrong one. But I bought this from one of the haberdashery stalls, and they told me it will definitely work. So I then have the chalk pencil, and I have this, and I can sort of try both and see which works best. So that's kind of good and hopefully useful. The last thing I bought that wasn't fabric or a pattern was a little embroidery set. So this is from Rowan Dean Embroidery. You can see the design there. Now, I'm always drawn to these when I go. As you know, anyone who watched my Vlogmas series will have seen I never finished that Christmas embroidery because I ran out of some of the threads, and I ordered some new ones, and then some of them came, one of the colours they were out of stock of, and then it gets to a point where it's so far past Christmas that it sort of feels weird to be sewing like a Christmas cushion. So what I'm going to do, I've still got it put aside, and it's like not too far off being finished. So I'm going to pick it up again later in the year. I'm going to finish embroidering it. I'm going to turn it into a gift to give to someone next Christmas, rather than giving them a Christmas cushion in like May. But I do enjoy, I think it's nice to have a craft that you can just take with you. I think it's nice to have something I can do when I'm on the sofa with Nate rather than being up in my sewing room. And I really like the look of the ones that have little embellishments. And this company have been at a few of the shows, I think, and they have some beautiful designs. So I don't know how well you can see on this. Again, I'll try and pop a picture up. But it's all of the little blackberries and raspberries, or maybe they're all blackberries. I don't know, but all of the berries are little beads. So in the set, you can see you get the beads, you get the threads in different colours, you get some stabiliser, some tulle, you get your main fabric, some like sort of Hessian, and it has the design drawn on. I don't know how well you can see that in the packet, but it has the design drawn on. So this one's called Autumn Bramble. Can't speak. Autumn Brambles. And yeah, I just sort of thought, oh, you know what, this time I'm actually going to buy one. They have some that are like really ornate the whole way over. This was one of the simpler ones. But I thought I can start with one like this and see how I get on. And then I can always move on to one of the more detailed ones. Right, I've ranted on about that stuff for long enough. So now I'm going to talk to you about the patterns and the fabric that I bought. So in terms of patterns, I had quite a clear idea in my head of what I wanted to get before I went, and I bought exactly those patterns. I did go over to see Sew Over It, and I was looking for a pattern, a specific pattern. They sell them, they like print them all out in A0 where you can buy them there, but they didn't have them in my size bracket. So they said they're going to send that to me. And that is the Peggy trousers, which Rosie was wearing on my shoot and I was like, I love those trousers. So now I want to make my own. I'll pop a picture up here of us posing. The trousers she's wearing, the orange trousers, are the ones that I want to make. Maybe an orange, if I want to be a total copycat, or maybe in a different colour, don't know. But they're going to send me those. So that was one of the patterns I wanted to get. I also, like pretty much everyone else who went to the festival, was really loving the look of the new Sew Over It, the new Tilly and the Buttons pattern, which has not been officially released online yet, but they were selling it at the show. And that is Mabel. So, Mabel just looks gorgeous. The one that really sold it to me, you can sort of see it on the back here, this one. Now, I have this fabric. It's Fabric Godmother print. I think it's called Joni. And I have it in the cream colourway, which is a lawn. I think this one is a viscose crepe. And I've not really known what to do with it because you have to think about where the pattern placement is. And I think I'm actually just going to copy this because I've had it since last year. I think I'm going to make, like, basically copy the exact placement of this dress. It comes in sizes 6 to 34, so the full size range. You have a sheared waist and sheared sleeves. And it's got this nice little tie-up top. The fabric recommendations are for light woven, so cotton, lawn, poplin, voile, seersucker, viscose, or crepe. And you can do a top or a dress, and you can do long or short sleeves. I don't know if they've released official pictures yet online. I don't think they have, so I probably can't put them in. And they've only done sneak peeks on Instagram, so you might just have to put up with this for now. And then when I make it, I can give you a bit more detail. But I think pretty much everyone I've spoken to picked up this pattern, so it's obviously going to be a really good one. I feel like Tilly and the Buttons now are making more slightly more advanced patterns in terms of, like, obviously they're known for having really good beginner and confident beginner patterns. And then I feel like they've had a couple where they're starting to sort of push us up a bit. So, yeah, I'm really excited to make that. So that was on my list. The other one that I didn't know of until other people started going to the Stitch Festival, and it just completely, I saw so many people in it that I suddenly was like, no, I need to buy this pattern, is the Emporia Sewing Patterns Penelope dress. So I'll pop some pictures of this up here, but this is what the pattern looks like. And they, on the Emporia pattern store, they were all wearing different versions of this dress, and they just all looked amazing. So yeah, so it comes in sizes 6 to 30. It has, as you can see, sort of a fitted v-neck bodice with darts. It's got these big dramatic sleeves, which I think are the talking point of the pattern. And then it's got a full length skirt, and then it's got this ruffled here at the bottom. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but the ruffled here is sort of, I don't know what you call that when it's like, so the hem inside is not enclosed all the way, so you get sort of like a ruffle detail on the outside of the hem there, where you, not the hem, of the seam where you connect it, which again I think is like quite an interesting detail. It does say in this that the skirt piece is not included in the pattern pieces, which I guess makes sense. So I presume you measure, it's just a rectangle, and you measure according to how gathered you want it to be and what your own measurements are and things like that. But I cannot wait to make that one. I actually the other day ordered some fabric from Fabrics Galore that was really reduced. It was a viscose linen, and it was reduced to £6 a metre. And I'd been admiring it somewhere else for a while. And I initially ordered it because I was going to try and make the Closet Core Elodie, but I actually think I'll have enough now to make this, so I might go in with making this first. I have never used Emporia patterns before, so this is going to be a first for me, but I'm excited to make that one as well. And the last is a pattern I already own. So one of my most made patterns is the By Hand London Tamsin. They are not going to be selling paper patterns for much longer, so they were selling their paper patterns really cheaply. Now I already have most of their patterns that come in print, but my Tamsin is really bedraggled because I've used it so much, and because it's tissue, you'll just drop a piece and then it gets completely mangled. So they were selling just the tissues of their patterns for £2. So I got a tissue of Tamsin. And then also, I was mentioning the other day, I'm coming up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm thinking of just doing a little giveaway of some favourite items when I reach that goal. And as Tamsin is one of my favourite patterns, I also decided to buy the Tamsin pattern This is the 16 to 34 in UK sizes or 12 to 30 in US sizes. So it's the D cup size band. And I'm going to add this to, I've already got the Tilly and the Buttons pearl pattern as well. So, and I got a few other ideas of things I'm going to add to that little bundle. So I bought this, it was reduced to £6. So I couldn't resist. So I bought this to add to that little bundle. Yeah, so that's that. And then it just comes to the fabric. Now, I had a plan of things I needed to buy fabric for. The first fabric you may recognise as, we have my friend, the Lyra in Velvet Heart Organza from, this fabric's from Rainbow Fabrics. And I may have bought her sister in red. Now, I don't know how well the colour is coming across on the screen, maybe a bit more orange than it is, but it's just a really beautiful shade of red. And it was also cheaper at the show than it is online. They also had the ivory colourway, and I'd been toying with getting that to maybe do something for my Flower Girls, but I didn't love the shade. Like, I thought when you get off-white, it then gets more difficult to find the exact right colour match, and it was quite like a beige sort of ivory, the colour of the velvet, so I just decided, no, I'll sort them out with something else. And so I bought this. Now, I've bought loads of it. I bought 4 meters. It was, I think, £28 for 4 meters. So that's not bad, is it? That's not bad. And I just really loved working with it, with this dress. So I know it's easy to work with. And I'm thinking I might make something for my hen, which isn't till August. So I've got loads of time. But I was thinking I might make like a hen party dress. Is this too on the nose for a hen? Or is it a time where you can just be as disgustingly romantic as you like? I don't know. Answer on a postcard. But that's what I purchased that for. So that was from Rainbow Fabrics. And oh goodness me, it's gone everywhere. Now you can tell love is in the air, because one of the other things on my list, I didn't have, so I had one specific fabric on my list, which was the strawberry print viscose linen from Fabric Godmother, which apparently sold out on the first day, so I didn't get that. But other than that, I had like projects in mind. So I was like, I want something for a hen party dress. I would like something for some trousers, or I would like something to make some pajamas for my wedding, was one of the other things on my list. And I ended up from, oh, this seems to have a load of fluff on it. From the other 2 fabrics I bought were from Higgs and Higgs, who again, I've not shopped from before. So for my wedding PJs, which I think I might use the Carolyn pajamas for, I bought this sort of heart. You can tell I just love this like foil detail. So it's like a sort of ivory colour, and it's got these little sort of foil heart. It's quite see-through, but I feel like these are just pyjamas for me to wear the night before the wedding, and maybe on honeymoon as well. So I'm not planning on like parading around in them to anyone, so maybe it doesn't matter they're a bit see-through. I've just got to hope the fire alarm doesn't go off in the middle of the night. Yeah, so this is the fabric I bought for that. It's, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a lawn. It's very light. And as you can see, it's, I mean, the light is behind it at the moment, but it's pretty see-through. Maybe I'll line it. Don't know. I mean, my skin's very pasty, so maybe I don't have to. But yeah, so I bought some of that from Higgs and Higgs, and I'm quite excited to make some cutesy little Carolyn pyjamas. And then the last thing I bought, I've been talking to you about wanting to make the Frankie jacket, which is the Sew Over It pattern that I was on the in the modelling photos for recently. And I've just been waiting to find the right shade, and I ended up finding this cord, which basically I was carrying it around. I was wearing my Vivian coat, which is in this sangria shade, and this woman was like, you match your fabric. And this is this cord is the exact same shade as that fabric. Now, the colour doesn't always come up very well on screen. Here it is. This from Higgs and Higgs as well. It's already picking up Nala's hair and all sorts of other things. So it's quite like a sturdy cord. It's got quite thick ribs, like thicker than the one, I think the one that I had in the photo shoot was more like a needle cord. But I just love the colour. Again, you can't really see it. It comes up, I think, a bit more like reddy on the screen, but it's like a really rich pink, like dark pinky red. It is the same colour as my Vivian. So yes, this woman was like, oh, you match your fabric. That's amazing. And I was like, yeah, do you think I've got a I've got a colour palette that I stick to. This is very much becoming my colour of the season. And I think it's not far off that magenta colour that was it the Pantone colour of the year or whatever. So yeah, so I bought some of that. So I just need to find some lining now. I don't really know what vibe I want for the lining. I may well have something already in my stash, so we'll have a look. But yeah, so 3 fabrics, 3 patterns, loads of haberdashery, loads of fun. I had a great day. So as I said before, I do think it's good if you're planning on going to one of these events to go with at least a bit of a plan, because it can be really overwhelming because there's so much stuff there. There are so many people there. Yeah, I would just say, just like think, is there any particular stores you want to go to? Are there any projects you want to buy for? Is there anything you really need in terms of like haberdashery and other crafts and stuff like that? So yeah, so I would say definitely look at who they've got exhibiting and like make a bit of a plan, but generally just have fun. Don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know, there'll be stuff you fall in love with that you just had no idea you were going to find. And also there'll be brands exhibiting there that you maybe didn't know about before. I really enjoyed speaking to is it I Make My Own Shoes or I Can Make Shoes or something, who were in the Indie Biz Village. I was talking to them about maybe making my wedding shoes because I'm struggling to find shoes that I really like for the wedding. And it turns out they're doing a course near me soon. So I think I'm going to go on their course. So that's going to be great. And yeah, there were lots of other bits and bobs that I found that were great. So it was just a fab day out. What can I say? Thank you to Sophie for coming with me. Thank you again to anyone who came over and said hello and made me look like popular. Appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So this week, I've also got my February Makes video coming, which I've already filmed. I probably won't do Friday sews because I think you'll be sick of the sight of me. And I don't know how much I have to say. But yeah, so that'll be 2 videos this week. And then we'll go back into a more normal routine next week. All right, lots of love, everybody. Bye.